All right, here I am at the bench again. Now, what you're looking at this time, you may not recognize. Maybe you will. It not that common. Not that many people really do this, unless they're real hardcore chainsawers. This is a brake link. It's to break a chain link for a chainsaw chain. I'll have to dig around. I have an old spare crap chain around here someplace, and I'll show you. You lay it across here, and you push one of the center rivets out. As a matter of fact, I'll give you one example here. I won't be pushing the link out of this, or the pin out of it, but right quick. I'll show you. No. Ah, there we go. Okay. Those right here. You lay it across here. This works like a press to press that out. Now, that little nipple right down in there, I made that nipple, but I got the geometry wrong on it, I think. I'll have to look online and see if I can scab up a picture of what they look like. They're a little more pointed than that. And also, on the tip of this, it was more pointed than it is, but I think I have the taper too fat. But it was more pointed, and when I heat treated it to surface harden it, I got the tip a little bit too hot, and it kind of went, melted a little, just a touch. Now, it did push links, but it didn't do it very prettily. Where's the... Yeah, okay. As you can see, that's the old one. And that's foobarred. That essentially is what I'm going to make, only with a better tip. Let's see if I can dig this old one that I made out of here. This was right when I first got this lathe, and I was practicing. It took me a while to cut this out, but on the left was the original, on the right was the one I made. I'm going to narrow that taper down a little bit so she pushes more towards the center. This seemed to be a little bit too fat, and as I said, can you see how that tip is like mushroomed over a little bit? Well, that's not from pushing through because it wasn't hard enough. That's because when I heated it, I got it a little too hot on the end, and it kind of sagged some. I'm going to try to cut one of these, out of this. That's what I used last time, because it's a carriage bolt, and carriage bolts are about as useful as bull tits, so they're laying around here all over the place, and it's just a piece of stock, nice and easy, and the outside diameter of the fat diameter of this right here is identical or almost identical to this right here, where we'll pass good enough. So that will save me some work, and it's not like I'm using a piece of stock that I had to buy. These are all over the place, and I really don't have any use for them. These are, I don't know, sketchy at best. I mean, I guess they have their uses. I just don't have a use for them much. All right, I'm going to try to set up over here, and I will bring you back. I did one little scratch pass on there. She seems to be running pretty centered, so what I'm going to do is mark this out. I'll start running that first. Running this right here. That diameter all the way out. Okay. That looks pretty good. I know these cuts look rough, but I'm trying to knock this out kind of quick. These things don't have to be really super precise. They just need to be in there and be able to be held in place. I'm not sure what pitch to put on this, but I'm going to do it by, like I do everything else, guesswork. Okay, I swung this Miller head out of the way, so I got a better shot at see what's going on here. I can get in closer. I'm going to put some finishing touches on this with a file. All right, so here's 1, 2, and 3. Now, I still have to heat treat this, so I have to run down and get a... maybe I got something with some water in it around here. I don't know. I'll have to look. Won't take much. I'll heat this up, douse her in some water, and let me check to make sure it fits first. All right, I'll take it back over to the other bench. All right, I'm going to try to temper this, case harden it. I'm not going to add any carbon to it. Don't have any handy. I'll just heat this up, and I'm going to hit it in water. That should give it at least a hard enough shell. It did the last time that it seemed to work okay. I'm going to try to be as careful as I can this time and not melt this tip. Get it to like get a mushroom head to it the last time. Put a blob on the end of it. I'm using the brazen tip this time. Come on, baby. Cut loose. There we go. Okay. Now that should be case hardened. It's ugly, but yeah, it's definitely harder than it was. There's no question about that. Okay, do I need to? I was thinking about putting it back in the lathe and spinning it and making it all pretty, but Nah, let me take it up here. We'll give her a run, see what happens. Let me grab these other pieces here first. These. Improvise. Yeah. Okay. Let me see it. Push. I really don't understand how that's supposed to push the rest of the way out, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not to understand it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I was never given any instructions, or there's no book, and I've never used one of these before. Well, it definitely pushed the rivet through, but not exactly to my liking, I'll say that much. Doesn't work like, unless I'm using it wrong, it doesn't work like a chain brake on a bicycle chain at all. It's a clear and concise deal. You push it through, you see what comes out, and that's where it's ready to rock and roll. Okay, maybe you need to do both sides. Well, that was a failure. Tip broke off. Okay. Sometimes it goes like that. Guess I see why the original one broke too. Now I'm going to wrap this up for today. I have to go back to my awful job tomorrow. And yep. See? Now, had that not have case hardened, that would have just mushed right out. But it did case harden. But it wasn't tough enough to deal with what pressures I was putting on it. So she cracked. Well, I guess that's it for this one.